Hey everybody, I'm Rainbow Road Gaming, and today we're going to be comparing possibly two of the best platformers, or maybe even two of the best video games of all time. I am talking about Celeste and Super Mario World, though you probably already knew that from looking at the title, so I don't know why I'm telling you this. Super Mario World has probably been the best 2D platformer since its release in 1990. However, with the recent release of Celeste, this video game may have surpassed it, making this topic all the more interesting. One of the main reasons that Mario games have been so successful over the years is because of Nintendo's consistently unique and creative level design. The first three games in the series all featured this style, but I think Nintendo's ideas were at their peak when it came to Super Mario World. There are new and unique ideas implemented in nearly every level throughout the game, such as climbing on a big metal gate, punching Koopas as you go, or following a trail of blocks through a difficult maze that reveals itself to you as you progress, or even a power-up that literally lets you fly, but somehow doesn't break the game. This is what set Mario games apart from other platformers for years, until Celeste was released. When I first started playing Celeste, I went in with low expectations because I knew it looked good and I didn't want to get too excited only to be disappointed. But it ended up being more amazing than I could have ever imagined. Immediately, at the start of the game, you come across a few mechanics that are easy enough to figure out, but seem to flow in a way where the player can feel comfortable with them very quickly. This makes the concept easier to learn, which in turn allows for more creative ideas, along with the unique level design features for those ideas. This makes the player feel almost completely immersed in the game. The brilliant level design concepts don't stop at the end of the first chapter though. The game continues to push new and unique mechanics at you in the following levels. So we can already see evidence of Celeste doing things that Mario never could. With every new element in Super Mario World, the player is still using the same running and jumping mechanics they have in every game, and aren't utilizing other components of their moveset. However, another area in which Mario is really able to shine is the legendary formula in each level that has affected nearly every platformer since. The formula goes something along the lines of this. The beginning of the level shows a new concept or level element and shows how to use it in a fairly safe and easy way. Next, as the level progresses, the element starts to be used in newer, slightly more difficult ways that make you think about it differently. At the same time, it's teaching you how to deal with this. Finally, at the end of the level, you are faced with one final part that uses the element in a very difficult manner, like the level is giving you one final challenge. You can see this formula being used in so many different games after Mario seemed to perfect it in Super Mario World. This, along with the incredible level elements introduced in the game, would make you think that nothing could do better than it, right? Yet, somehow, Celeste once again seems to top Mario. Though Mario invented the formula, Celeste is seemingly able to take this formula to a new level, both literally and figuratively, and reach its full potential. As I mentioned before, Celeste's easy to learn yet genius level mechanics allow for more creative use of that mechanic later on. But this can be applied to the formula, and now it seems even more genius. Because, as you progress through the level, the challenges continue to get harder, but in a much less noticeable way. Celeste's moveset and a stunning game immersion teaches you the mechanics slowly by adding story elements within the challenges. It's hard to notice that it is getting more difficult at all. This is all building up to the finale of the level, where the concepts you learn throughout the level are used in one long, difficult, boss battle-esque final challenge. These tend to be amazing because of the intensity that has been building up and the fact that you're using all of the concepts you have learned all at once. So clearly, once again, Celeste has surpassed Mario. But there's one aspect of Super Mario World that very few games have been able to replicate following this game: Easter eggs. The feeling of exploration Super Mario World is able to give you when finding these Easter eggs is incredible. Though the idea of Easter eggs in a game had existed long before Super Mario World, Super Mario World provided Easter eggs in such a new and interesting way that it reshaped the idea of what an Easter egg could be. These Easter eggs were presented in the form of 24 secret levels, hidden in secret exits found in secret areas in some of the 72 regular levels. Hold on, wait, did I just say secret way too many times in one sentence? No, it's okay. This is so important because it encouraged players to explore the 2D levels long before 3D games even existed. Super Mario World was using ideas that were way ahead of its time, but let's see how Celeste can compare. Once again, Celeste doesn't disappoint, but while it did have a variety of Easter eggs to discover, there are more than just finding a secret area that reveals a secret level, because unlike in Mario, they are presented in the form of collectibles hidden throughout the expansive levels. The most common of these are the strawberries. Usually with about 20 per level, each of them comes with their own individual challenge to reach them. Also hidden in each level are one blue heart and one cassette tape. These may just seem like average collectibles, but they are so much more. The strawberries are the easiest to find, usually being in plain sight, but they force you to do something new and unique with your moveset that you have to figure out for yourself, besides the fact that the challenges are extremely well designed. What is even more brilliant is that they really don't do much besides changing the cutscene at the end of the game, but because of their accessibility and the previously stated great immersion in the game, you'll find yourself going after them anyway. But if they get too hard or if you just can't figure one out, this idea becomes even more amazing because there is no penalty for deciding to go back to the main level. The other two collectibles are usually harder to find, similar to the secret exits in Mario World. However, the way you end up finding them is even more unique and builds more on the fact that the game wants you to try things and figure out better ways of accomplishing certain tasks. For example, one of the hearts makes you use an exploit in the game to reach it. Not only are finding these collectibles fun and unique, but while finding them still isn't essential, they expand the game if you do catch them all. The blue hearts unlock the 8th level of the game, and the cassette tapes unlock the B and C sides of each level, which are much harder versions of the original level, yet still very fun. Celeste rethinks Easter eggs in a way that very few video games have done before. It rewards the player for exploring and trying new things, but blends the Easter eggs into the levels seamlessly. Wait a second, there's a Super Mario Bros. 3 Easter egg in it? Have I been comparing the wrong games? Nah, it's okay, that game sucks. At this point, Celeste has just done everything Mario does, but better. But this is where Celeste really starts to pull ahead. The story. Celeste does things in its story that I never even thought were possible in a video game, especially not a 2D platformer, where every Mario game is just like, oh no, Bowser got the princess again, we gotta save her. The story and dialogue give your actions in the game purpose, and each of the characters are developed extremely well, which makes you care for them all the more. Another way Celeste is completely groundbreaking, though, is the real-world issues it addresses at the same time. The story follows the main character, Madeline, in her quest to climb Celeste Mountain. This seems simple enough at first, but as the story goes on, you learn more and more about her and her character. It doesn't seem like there is much holding you back at first, but once you reach the second level, she begins to struggle, battling herself in the form of an evil, ghostly version of her. This, along with the fact that she is already struggling with depression, makes for some very intense cutscenes and makes the player feel even more accomplished when Madeline is able to come to terms with herself and her flaws at the end of the game. Spoilers, I guess. I mean, the game has been out for like 3 months, so if you haven't played it yet, then what's wrong with you? Both of these games are amazing and some of my favorites of all time, but Celeste was just able to do what Mario couldn't and improved upon elements already established in previous Mario games. It's amazing that Celeste was able to open up so many new possibilities just by adding a second jump and focusing on quality instead of quantity in their level design. I also think Nintendo began to feel limited with what they could do with the Mario games, which caused them to be afraid to change anything too much. This is very apparent when looking at the more recent 2D Mario games, but if a 2D Mario game does come out on the Switch, I hope they're able to bring something new and groundbreaking that can change or maybe even create a new formula. As long as they don't just put that stupid new in front of it again. Like, come on Nintendo, this has gone on for far too long. So that's why I've come to the conclusion that Celeste is a better game and is probably the best 2D platformer of all time. But if you don't think so, that's fine, and you're completely entitled to your own opinion. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.